It is February the 9th, 2022. It's 1730 UTC. It is WAGMI Wednesday today, where we'll talk about our countries passing the U.S. in crypto adoption. Oh, there we go. Why am I hitting that? I'm already off mute. What's up, everybody? It is me, Steven, the voice of DeFi. You can always find me on Twitter at voice of DeFi. And everybody's kind of filing into here. And as they do, we'll have plenty to talk about today, because here with Traderverse, it is WAGMI Wednesday. And on WAGMI Wednesday, we'd like to talk about a few news items that maybe could be considered bullish news. Doesn't mean they're always considered bullish news, but maybe looking at the side of the news that maybe would consider that maybe we are all going to make it. And, sometimes that's a little harder to find. Certainly when we're on a nice bull run, it's easy to find those articles. But when we're in a severe bear market, I really have to pour through articles to find some good stuff. But we are all going to make it. And it's mainly because of our community that we have. I've loved being able to speak with Christine on the daily. I love being able to speak with Andre and Scroop. All these guys are my community. And it takes a community like this to be able to, make good decisions and just to bounce other ideas off of each other. And, that's one of the things that Traderverse really wants to be able to underline, to be able to say, hey, community is very important. So much so that it's tried to use in its algorithm, something to help promote those that are, let's say you're making stock calls and saying Tesla is going to go up by quite a bit, or this crypto is going to go down by quite a bit. Well, it will record that in almost a score-like fashion, in a rewarded fashion, where if you're making correct calls, you are rewarded for making those correct calls. And if you are not making correct calls and you're putting that out there, then you will not get rewarded for that. But you'll be able to see an aggregate score of that. And that's what makes it really unique. So as far as we're all going to make it, if you're just putting out a lot of predictions that don't happen to become true, then the Traderverse platform will be able to call you out on that. But in March is when the Traderverse platform is being launched. It's when the takeoff token, which is Traderverse's token within its ecosystem, is coming out. And we speak here Monday through Friday, right here on Twitter Spaces at 1730 UTC. On Monday through Wednesday, we have the wonderful Christine Barnum with me, who is up here inviting people into the room as well. Christine, how are you doing?
Good. Yeah, I was tweeting out the room. I'm like, hopefully my mic doesn't get stuck again.
Wait a second, your mic got stuck? What happened?
So it gets stuck, if I leave, if I click off of the
Sure.
room, and I'm tweeting something out, and then I try to get back in, I'll just press to unmute my mic, and then it won't unmute. I'm pressing it 3-4 times.
Oh no! And how does it finally? Do you have to kick yourself off and come back in to get it unmuted?
No, I just keep pressing it, and then one of the 20 times it decides to unmute.
Okay.
It's really fun.
I'm glad you found the solution, is press it 20 times before it unmutes. Yeah, glad you finally found that. And I know always whenever I'm doing because I try to do a long-winded introduction here to give everybody a chance to get ready. And I know sometimes I'll be talking, and then all of a sudden I'll be like, and what do you think about that, Christine? And all of a sudden you're the spotlight's on you. And so I know I know I throw it to you real fast without much of a warning. So I understand.
That's okay. It's fun.
Fun to be on your toes. Fun to be on your toes like that and be ready. Yeah. So yesterday we were able to have NFTuesday, where we had several different projects. Were you still liking that segment yesterday? I thought we had a lot of interesting projects coming here.
I actually love it, and I'm glad that we found that like vibe for Tuesdays because I'm not even really a fan of the chill rooms.
No.
I used to, when Spaces first came, I was like, "Oh, these are pretty cool," and then it got old. But I think the way we've structured it with the 2-minute chill, it holds everyone's attention, all of ours and everyone in the room, and it actually helps them create the perfect pitch eventually, so when they go to other rooms or talking to other people in this, they're able to successfully pitch their project without boring them to death or.
It is actually good for people like that. I did another. It wasn't a space, but it was on Telegram just earlier this morning, and I had somebody that was on our show yesterday, the Holder Heroes. Shelly, she was in here, and she was kind of all over the place yesterday on it, and she was much better today using some of our criticisms yesterday. So yeah, it helps people with their pitch. It helps us learn about it, and I'm just like you. Whenever we were first kind of saying we were going to do a shill room, basically, I think everybody was a bit nervous about it. I was, because they can get, I don't know, they can get very unenjoyable for the listener, but it was good. It was good.
That's good. I
Yeah,
like.
yeah, we should continue. We should continue to do that. We learn a lot, and there's a lot of connections that are made in it. You get a lot of, hey, DM me about sort of things, and
Oh
that
yeah, that was beautiful to witness too, like people connecting and collabing in the Traderverse room. So that's beautiful to see. And then I feel like there was 2 or 3 projects that I actually really liked. Like that zebra one looked freaking amazing. That game, I'm like, how do you not have? Like I
that's
was looking and I'm like, how do you not have enough interest to like mint these out? And it was a beautiful looking game. I don't get it. And then we
but
had
that's just
the
it. There's a lot that like Zazzy Zebras that just aren't seen. They just
yeah.
don't get the pub.
I know, and it bums me out because it looked awesome. And hopefully it helps, when we do stuff like on Tuesdays. And then what else? The in real life utility projects, I really liked those. Like the one that there was like the guy that bought acres
Happy
and
Goat was that one.
yes, Happy Goat. And then what's the other one? Like he has like box suites for games and stuff like that. And then the charity is mental health. I was like, dude, these are freaking awesome. And like you said yesterday, we would have never known about them if we didn't start doing that for Tuesday.
Yeah, so I'm willing to continue to do that on Tuesday. And if you're listening and you're like, what are they talking about? So on Traderverse, these spaces we have like a theme every day, and on Tuesdays we have NFTuesday. And previously we had just kind of talked about NFT news, but we started a couple weeks ago starting to bring in other projects for the 2-minute shill, and we just give them 2 minutes. So if you're worried about, I don't like shill rooms, it just gets boring, and you're right, they do. But this one we limit them to 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, we will just kick them off the stage if we need to. And sometimes we have some follow-up questions, which those are always interesting as well. But yeah, that was what we did on Tuesday. But on Wednesday, today, we have WAGMI Wednesday, which I try to find a few articles, and Christine will try to find a few articles of different stories that do kind of indicate that just we're all going to make it, that these are good indicators. Now, I'll be honest, some of what I have today isn't necessarily an indicator of that, but it does kind of show that it's crypto and NFTs and anything else is really in our conscious and in kind of what we're seeing. The first one I want to talk about is the Bitfinex hackers. Did you happen to see the couple's shot there, Christine?
Yes, the rapper.
Yes, that's right. That's what we always think of when we think of a crypto hacker. Is a she was a rapper. Now you talk about her. She's a rapper, correct?
He's a rapper, yes.
Yeah, yeah. What does he do? What is his story?
They both come from like I guess the finance sector. And then did you see that she's actually a Forbes contributor as well? And what's crazy is she would write articles like how to protect yourself from crypto scams and hackers. Like the audacity.
Well, I mean, I can. Okay, so yeah, what she did was wrong. So don't let me what I'm about to say make it sound like I'm signing off on stealing millions of dollars from Bitfinex. But I will say, like, if I'm to hear security from if I'm to like secure my house, I kind of want to hear it from the guy that knows how to break into my house, right? Doesn't he know the best? He know the most?
Yeah, I guess you're right. But like, I believe even like the CIA and the FBI and stuff, like when they, because they look for these criminals, and then when they find one that's like pretty genius, that it was like hard to find those people, they end up hiring them, I guess, as independent contractors to help them identify other like lower tier criminals.
Yeah,
So
right, right.
I guess that
What's
makes
up?
sense.
Was somebody about to say something? Was the group? Oh, I saw somebody unmute their mic. Um, yeah. Here's what's funny is it sounds like they hacked in and maybe even used social engineering to do so. Are you familiar with like what social engineering is for a for? Are you familiar with social engineering for hacking? I think I lost Christine. She got rugged. Well, and I'll ask that to Dre or Scoop. Dre, are you familiar with social engineering for what it takes to get somebody's passwords and that sort of thing?
Yeah, I went through that a whole lot when I was doing the social media stuff. Oh, there she is. She's back. She got rugged.
Yeah. Yeah, with social media stuff, I mean, to me, social engineering is whenever I talk to you, befriend you, somehow basically get your trust to be able to then get keys from you or anything like that. I've heard of like social engineering where somebody will go to a bank or some other place that has a server, come in as a technician, and bring their toolbox and that sort of thing, and then they'll be able to get past whatever security because they look so dang official, and then
Yeah.
they can get in and they can actually get into the server and actually physically hook their laptop up to the actual servers and do whatever bad deeds they need to do. So I don't know if that's considered social engineering or not, but it's you've got to somehow get past some sort of security there by your.
Well, another good one is the Tinder swindler.
How do you do that? Do
You
you?
didn't hear about the Tinder swindler?
No,
He
please.
stole over. Hold on, let me get my numbers right. But this guy would go and basically go on dates with women, and he would trick them. He played off like he was some crazy millionaire billionaire, and basically get their trust and let them fall in love with him. And then he would make a story saying that he got in really bad with some really bad people and asked these girls for money, but he scammed several women for an estimated total of $10 million.
Wow. Do we have a picture of this guy?
Yeah, his name
Is
is Lviv.
he a
Let me
good
see.
looking guy? See,
I mean, he played the role right. He posted pictures like he was on jets and planes and Rolls Royces, and I guess he would send girls private jets to pick them up for dates, and he played the role like
I
he
mean,
played.
granted, I'm married now, but I had trouble just getting a date. This guy's able to get $10 million.
Well,
Jeez.
he was posting like he was some kind of like prince or something, and these girls are like, "Holy crap!" And he'd spend tons of money on them, and then eventually he'd be like, "Oh yeah, I got in some trouble," and I guess one woman specifically, he was able to get like $200,000 from her
What?
How?
because they believed that he was rich, and he probably sent some type of like, "I'm in really big trouble. I need your help. I'll back." And they went on dates with him. They seen that he had
Okay.
crazy money, so they're probably like, "Oh
Yeah.
yeah, he's
He's
gonna
good
pay
for
us
the
back."
money. Yeah.
Exactly.
If a private jet is picking you up to take you to a date to meet him, they're probably like, "Oh yeah, 200,000. I'll get that back in tomorrow."
Yeah, exactly. So he played the role, and then he would just disappear on them. But anyways, he did 5 months in jail, and then he's back out. And when he got back out, they picked him up and put him right on a private jet, and he's flying off somewhere to go party again, I guess you could say.
Fake it till you make it, right? So he I don't know, there's that Catch Me If You Can movie with DiCaprio and Tom,
Mm-hmm.
and that guy just kind of faked it. And yeah, you've got these people that basically live a lavish lifestyle. And what's weird is, this guy did his 5 months, he did his time, but it seems like they're able to accrue some wealth that is, I don't know, on the up and up. I don't know. The government obviously is looking at them at some point, you would think.
Yeah, I tagged him up at the top, and of course you see his picture. He's in there in a private jet, and I think this is actually the picture of him as soon as he had got out from jail for this. So, and I don't know if they ever recovered the money. They made a whole show about it on Netflix, like how he was doing it, and he was swindling these women, and sending them on
Yeah.
lavish dates.
I need to see.
Nuts.
Christine, are you swiping right on this guy? See if he.
So I'm looking at the photo, not a bad looking guy, right? And then it's hilarious, the caption, like, Simon is the definition of catch flights, not feelings. That's hilarious. That is so freaking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like public enemy number one right now for all the Tinder girls out there.
Right.
Jeez. You guys, it's up on the top if you guys want to see what we're talking about. That's Simon.
Yeah. So everybody ask yourself, to be honest, would you swipe right? And of course, Andre, his wasn't necessarily crypto swindlings, right? It was
No,
just,
it was just normal money, but I mean, Jesus.
That's insane, man.
That
Do
is
we have the any live, or do we have any audio on the rapper girl scammers
Oh,
Well,
That would be
I
good.
dove deep into that rabbit hole last night, and apparently, some people are speculating is that they're not the ones who did it,
I've seen
Oh,
that.
and that basically either they were given the wallet to take the fall and were paid a really good amount to take the fall because they feel like they'll get off with it, or two, that they were sold the wallet from somebody else.
Yeah, because there's let me read what this says here. I'll just read from newsbtc.com. Not exactly a mainstream news source, but it says, could this tech entrepreneur and this writer rapper have hacked a cryptocurrency exchange, or are they just the money launderers for a bigger operation? And did they really save the private keys to billions in Bitcoin on the cloud, or were they set up? Is law enforcement playing tricks on the public, or are they the heroes of the day? And then somebody had said this, there's a tweet that says, imagine being a hacker or money launderer and keeping the unencrypted private keys to $3.5 billion worth of Bitcoin in an online account that is linked to your name.
Yeah, exactly. Come on.
I thought that was a married couple that was like going to jail for some shit like that.
Yeah, they're technically like a husband and wife or whatever it might be.
Right.
Like I feel like it's all just it was a story put together. Like I feel it was all fabricated. Because like Trevor said, you're not that if you were smart enough to sell 120,000 Bitcoin, you're not gonna save it in a cloud server linked to your name. Like that's gonna be on a cold wallet dug deep inside the freaking earth, like
well, especially for somebody that she seems to be security savvy, right? Like she
mm-hmm.
like you and I know, and by the way, if anybody's listening and you've got your seed phrase, don't put it on the cloud. I feel like that's security 101, but I'm going to go ahead and say it anyway. Don't put your seed phrase or your private keys on the cloud. And you're telling me this girl that was security savvy, writing articles on security, was doing that with a $3.5 billion account that she hacked?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
And who knows what? This was 2016, right? So essentially, there's another guy who's been digging a lot into it, and they around the time were transferring to multiple, or not they, but whoever it was transferring around multiple wallets and still doing a whole lot of trading with some of the money that they took. So I feel like the 3.5 billion is just like it might be just what they stole, but it's not even considerable to probably what they made off of it, because like traders are smart, and if you have $3.5 billion to play with, I'm sure you're putting it into other things. You're not just going to let it all sit.
And the thing that sucks about it is the people they stole it from aren't even going to get it back. That's just going to go back into rotation.
Yeah.
Well, on a future show, I don't have it all set up with me now, but we're gonna look at her raps. We're gonna determine if she's got bars. Okay,
She probably drops some hints in her rap. She's like, yeah, just grabbed a bag.
You guys, what's her name? I'm gonna look on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, it is her name. Oh, Ilya Lichtenstein.
What?
Lichtenstein.
Lichtenstein.
She dropping that lick on the Bitcoin.
Ilya.
Ilya. And then that's first name, and then the last name is Lichtenstein. Yeah, if you've got like a speaker near your mic or something, maybe you can play this.
Okay, let's see.
She actually has a Twitter. Let me see. I don't know if I can find it anymore, but it's like dead since 2015, so she hasn't used it in a long time.
Yeah, she hit that billion and was like, "I'll forget rapping."
And you guys have been like using that money?
It pretty much hasn't been used, right, Andre? Like I don't think.
No, they were saying there was siphonings. They were siphoning small amounts at a time. They were trying to launder it, but they said it would take them at least 7 more years to launder all of it. But they for sure got like some out and were able to use some of it. That's what I was saying is I feel like the 3.5 billion that we quote unquote took from them was just maybe the base of what they took, not considerably what they made off of it.
Right. Well, it was I think almost 120,000 Bitcoin, not dollars in Bitcoin, but 120,000 Bitcoin that they took, and it's worth considerably more now than when they took it. And hey,
60 million.
Christine, as you're looking, that Ilya Lichtenstein may have been the boyfriend, so I may be sitting you down a rabbit hole.
Yeah. What's her name?
Her name is. It looks okay. I don't know if this is a pseudonym, so whatever.
Okay, go.
Razzlecon. Razzlekhn.
Okay,
I
that's
just think
like a rap name.
I was about to say with Razzle in it, it sounds more like a pseudonym, like Sean Carter versus Jay Z. Jay Z just has a better ring to it, and with Razzle in it, yeah, it kind of she had to be a rapper. That's I mean that just has such a good ring to it. But yeah, she defines herself as a. Oh, here we go.
I got it, guys.
Oh my god.
Spirit of a revolutionary, power of a dictator, love to be contrary, but I'm fly like a gator. I've got pilot, a real risk taker, pirate riding the flood, badass money maker, grandmother.
Please stop. My ears are burning. Oh my god.
Here
Some
on the
people,
Traderverse Alpha Hour, that just shows you anybody can be anything. Okay.
somebody just are built for certain things.
Hey, you guys, in prison, she may be picking up some better.
So you think she's going to come out and just probably have a record deal?
That shit was dog shit.
Hey, voice.
Oh my
Her
god.
real name is Heather Morgan. Just FYI.
That's
Christine, if you want to pin this up top, I can't multitask, but look up at Heather REYHAN, at Heather REYHAN. That is her Twitter. And her bio says serial entrepreneur, software as a service investor, RazzleCon, which is a surreal artist, rapper, and fashion designer with synesthesia. Okay, now I went ahead and done here at Traderverse, I've done the research for you. Okay, you don't have to do your due diligence on what is synesthesia. Synesthesia, I've looked it up. It's where you can see shapes in lieu of colors. So I believe something along those lines, like she's seeing sounds. So that is synesthesia. Yeah, when you hear music, but you see shapes, and also a fighter.
Yeah. What am I pinning to the top, Traderverse?
Oh, I was just gonna say her. I was just gonna say you could pin to the top her profile.
Okay, I will that because you guys.
Y'all should see what a hacker looks like, or at least somebody taking the fall.
At least she sees it and has access to a burner phone in prison.
Well, apparently the thing is they're gonna get off of this.
So you don't think she'll even? Okay, so you don't even think she will have to put in a day's worth of time?
No, not for a long time. This is gonna drag out. I would say at least a year. A good lawyer could drag it out for at least a year, right? And then from there, because right now it's all the hype. Everybody's looking at it. It's the whole big thing. But a good seasoned lawyer knows the longer you could draw it out, the less mad people are. And so they'll drag it out probably from a year from now. They'll probably either get like maybe a year and then good time or probation if they have a really good lawyer. Like they're not gonna go down for this because the lawyer might be able to prove too is that, hey, this was they'll do the digging and they'll find that somebody gave that to them or whatever it may be, like sold it to them. I bet you it's gonna work out in their favor.
Yeah, there's probably like 14 loopholes that they already got set up.
Yeah.
Man.
And they're gonna make the deal and be like, you have the Bitcoin now, and we haven't even done any transactions on it, which they actually have. You can see the ledger that there was some small transactions being made, like siphoning it out, but nothing where it's like, I don't feel like they're gonna go to jail for 25 years.
And I guarantee you, they got at least $5 million already stashed in cash, at least.
But hold on, but this is the assumption that they didn't do it.
No, even if they did do it, they're not gonna get much time. Okay, there was this kid that I knew back in I used to go to school for computer science, and there was a 16-year-old kid at the time, and he for 2 years would siphon $1 from people's bank accounts and just put it as an iTunes charge. He did that for it. They didn't catch him for like 3 years, so he was over the age of 18 by the time he finally got caught. They gave him probation, and he actually siphoned it was like $6.9 million from people's account over 3 years.
Holy moly! Why aren't they a criminal? No, I'm kidding.
$1. I know. I start to think sometimes I'm like, are we on the right side of everything? Because sometimes, like when they don't, when they don't do justice to the crimes, I'm like, all right, so the laws are sometimes made for the favor of the criminal. I get it.
Well, if you look into it, because I used to live in Victorville, and they actually have federal.
Yo, go mint the egg.
Oh man, I didn't even transfer over. Damn it.
Minting not available anyway. Sorry.
Okay. What you call it? Yeah, we live next to the federal prison in Victorville, and they would educate us on the crimes that these people have done. And you're talking like white collar crimes, people who have laundered money, stole money, tax fraud, blah 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 blah. And these guys would, millions upon millions of dollars. You could literally go and like they would steal $10 million tax fraud. Da, da, da. They'd get like 3 months in jail, a year in jail, 2 years in jail, and then they're out. And then if they're smart and they move all their money to offshore accounts or whatever it is, and blah blah blah, like they're free to go and live their life.
There's a bigger discussion to have here where we could talk about white collar crimes versus blue collar crimes and and the jail sentences with each of these, because I'm kind of appalled whenever I know that other people that do what I consider more minor infractions are getting, years. Whenever people swindling billions, millions, whatever, are getting slap on the wrist.
That's literally. It's like tax fraud and evasion and all that stuff. Like they get slapped on the wrist and then they go back to doing it, and there's a whole world of it in one of the cities that are near me, and it is very big. And these guys aren't scared of getting in trouble. They're like, yeah, I'll go to jail for like 2-3 months.
That's weird because I had a different argument to that I'm always saying, just the criminals that are violent criminals or, rape cases, whatever, they get way less time than someone that does tax evasion or like white collar federal.
Oh no, I know. Right now, because the system, especially like LA, California, the jails are way overpacked. So like you're talking about, like if you do something in LA right now, and not telling anybody to go do something in LA right now, but the jails are so overpacked that if you get anything within 180 days, you're basically doing 1 to 2 days in jail for that. And that's the crazy part. Like that's crime, like actual crimes. And then you have the people white collar and things like that stealing millions of dollars. They might get a couple months in jail, but the thing is, these guys are coming out with a slap on the wrist.
See, and that's where I say sometimes, like that joke that Traderverse said, like, why am I not a criminal? It makes you question the goodness of your heart and your actions, because it sometimes feels like the laws are made in favor of the criminals.
So I have one more thing on her before we move to something else. But do y'all want to know what noted NFT project she holds?
Oh my gosh! Please
Let's
tell
hear
us.
it.
Oh, Cool Cat.
Okay, yeah, let's ask there. Okay, Cool Cats, and this is
Obviously
noted.
she's got some apes.
We're gonna guess, guys, right? Is that what?
Yeah. We're gonna guess. This is a noted one that we've talked about on this show before. Okay, Cool Cats Crypt Keeper has said, Andre, you want to take a shot at this? What does she hold? Because if you look at her Twitter profile, it's got rzk.eth. So I went ahead and went.
Don't look either, you freaks.
Yeah, don't look. Don't cheat. Don't cheat. What do you got, Andre? What do you think she holds?
Oh, something that we've talked about. You can't. You would go for the most obvious of a Bored Ape, but let's just say we take Bored Apes off of the platform. Okay. I would say a doodle.
Doodle. Okay. Good.
Dom.
Silence Crypt. That's actually what I was gonna say was the doodle one.
Okay. Two doodles. Crypt's already guessed, and I'm muting him because he's like cleaning.
He's playing with dishes.
Yeah. Right.
I can't guess because I already know beforehand. And it's one
so don't guess. Don't guess. I'm gonna say
one
mutant.
that you have.
No, I don't have it. I have suggested it early on.
Oh.
Is it a mutant ape?
No. It's smaller.
It's smaller.
Yeah.
It is smaller, but
it's an alien friend.
A lazy lion.
No, Dre got it.
Yeah, it's an alien friend. It had
alien friend. Dre, your friend with criminal investors.
I don't have an alien.
Spread the FUD.
Okay. In celebration,
let's
listen.
I'm calling Tetra.
Nah, don't call that man.
Dude.
Yes. So Christine, are you just listening to her on?
Yeah, she is.
Oh my god.
It's like her ringtone. Yeah, everybody make a.
Christine's be playing that out her car now.
Yeah, RazzleCon. Yeah, Christine pulls up next to you at the red light, and she's just bumping RazzleCon.
What did it say? It was like walking down Wall Street. Don't email me. Like what?
Yeah. But she owns some alien friends, 2 of them, matter of fact. Yeah, she's doing okay. She got 23,000 worth of wrapped ETH on here. So hey, y'all public blockchains, you can look at anything. So
23,000 worth of wrapped ETH. Wow.
Yes.
How much is that?
It's 23,000.
Oh,
it's 7.5.
That's like 5 ETH.
You're talking about fucking ETH.
No, yeah, that's like 5 ETH or so.
It's 7.5, 7.447 ETH. Yeah. So now this is just one wallet that's attached to her name here. I'm sure she's got lots of wallets that probably have. I was hoping we could see some of the criminal activity going on here, but no, she's dealt a lot with. Ooh, what's Pulse Chain com.eth? I don't know what that is. Anyway, she's dealt with that just 24 hours ago. When did she go to jail? When did she get?
They haven't. They're not even in jail right now. That's what I'm telling you. They probably got bailed out already. Or if anything, they got pulled in, called in. The case is presented to them. You guys are gonna go to jail for this, or these are the charges that's gonna be pressed against you. The lawyer said, whatever that they said, and I guarantee you they're in jail right now. They're sitting at home.
They're not.
Less than a day ago, she's still making transactions. She's still
pumping, baby. Pumping.
She's making deals.
She's like, all right, I'm about to put this into the NFT world. Hold on.
Well, I'll tell you what, Heather R. Morgan, Raza Khan, come on up here. Come on up. Come on into the Traderverse talk. I'd love to.
He's probably in holding. You guys are silly.
I don't know. Andre says she's talked to her lawyer and.
Yeah, she's not in holding.
They bailed out. Come on now.
Yeah, they bailed out a winning trial if trial ever gets there.
Okay,
even if they
or she goes to prison.
You're talking about their bail is probably, I would say, max maybe like 100K. So that's like, if you bail out, that's like 5-10 grand.
No way, Dre. 100.
No, yeah, her bail had to be a little bit higher. I would imagine.
Okay, maybe it's nothing ridiculous that's out of reach.
Not, no.
Yeah,
and you only need 10% to bail out.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's $1 million, but you only need 10%. So maybe that's what Dre was saying, like 100K on deck because it's $1 million bail because you only need 10%.
I don't think it's 100 million.
I don't think so.
1 million.
Well, I don't think it's 1 million either.
Here we go. I already got it. I found it. You want to know how much their bond was?
Okay, go.
$3 million.
Told you.
Damn, so it was a $30 million bail. Fuck.
No, not $30 million bail. They're setting a bond of $3 million.
Yeah, the bond is 3.
Yeah,
so the bail is 30.
You said 30 million. 30.
Yeah,
that's all that Bitcoin, baby.
Yeah,
you got 3.5 billion. Yeah,
they quote unquote asked their parents for it. Come on now.
They told their parents their seed phrase to another hot wallet.
That's held in the cloud. Well, to me, if nothing else, this is a story of security and that you never know who can, Bitfinex, you've got to think, had some of the best security practices you could possibly have. You would think. I know this is years ago, but somehow still they lost their private keys to a young rapper who can see sounds. So you never know. And if you think you're above getting your wallet compromised, you are not. So always be aware, always keep your head on a swivel for these kind of things because anything can happen. And what's her name? Heather Morgan.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Look, the Morgan and Liechtenstein control several other virtual currency addresses that hold about 7,500 Bitcoin, not including the freaking 19,000 that they sold. So valued over $328 million. And that's not seized.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't know how you could seize it. I understand how you could seize it with Coinbase or any other kind of off ramp, but it's not like you can go to Bitcoin Incorporated and make them lock that address, right?
Yeah, and so they both posted bail at $3 million. So that was $6 million bail between both of them, but they have 328 sitting in multiple different wallets. $328 million.
See, wow. But I don't know. I think they will get in trouble. And then is it true that the way they got caught was because of Coinbase KYC?
Not sure about that one. I'm trying to read about it.
Somebody told me, good thing, for Coinbase because of the KYC, that's how they got caught. That's what someone said.
Well, I'm glad, there is drama here. Me as I don't know, I'll call myself like a media reporter here. I'm rubbing my hands together here. Like this is drama, man. This is kind of fun to watch. Now, I don't want to say I'm having fun at somebody else's expense, but she did at least is accused of taking quite a bit of money or, whatever is going on. And if there's really some, like Dre had said, like she's taking the fall for someone bigger, then I'm even more interested then because, we got a real story on our hands at that point. So,
well, where did they get that 328 million from? I mean, come on.
I don't know. Yeah.
Dre, it could be the other end of that coin where maybe they have this persona, this, rapper and whatever the other dude is persona, that they play off of it as it's dumb. They're actually super fucking smart.
Yes.
They set themselves up on loopholes, and this is a clout chase to get notoriety.
Yes.
Yeah, she just posted yesterday. She literally just posted on Instagram yesterday. And a picture of herself just chilling, enjoying.
And that was before FBI came through the door, huh?
Either that or after she probably posted Bill and was like, "Oh, I need to post on Twitter." Or
Or
Textbook
post on,
clout chasing is
yeah.
FBI
steal
opened up.
3.5 billion.
It was what's his name? Tetra or whatever his name was.
Yes, the online detective. Yeah, Tetra, the online detective. Well, if you've read the title in here and you're like, I don't really understand how this means that our country's passing the U.S. in crypto adoption, had to cover that. We've got to cover anytime we have a big theft like that, and somebody that seems to be a personality is part of the heist. We've got to cover that. But what I was referring to whenever I put our country's passing the U.S. in crypto adoption is something a little bit more broad, and that's our good pals Russia. Maybe not our good pal, but Russia has decided to take cryptocurrency and recognize it as a currency. Okay,
Yep.
so this is big, I think, because we have a major power now, a major world power that's saying, "Hey, cryptocurrency is a currency." Because you're more into tax, I feel like, than most, Christine. Isn't the U.S. looking at currencies as almost like property? That way, it's a taxable event every time something is. If I buy a cup of coffee, that's a change of what am I trying to say? A change of assets, therefore a taxable event. And if it was currency, obviously, besides sales tax, I wouldn't be paying tax on that. So, is that what Russia's doing? Like really forward thinking, or is this just a logical next step?
I think that it looks like forward thinking, right? Like almost like El Salvador, when they took that huge step to recognize it as currency. So it's not anything like surprising, but I think that we're all going to fall in line here shortly. I just think that that's like the obvious thing to do. Like, I don't know why it's taking so long.
Yeah, I just wonder if it's obvious to us because I know Russia's saying, hey, it's a currency. And it sounds like you were hopeful that eventually, like the US will be like, oh, yeah, you're right. It is a currency.
Yeah.
But I'm worried we're going to dig in. I'm worried we're going to dig in and say, no, it's property and it has to be taxed as such, that really hinders the space a lot.
It does. Yeah.
So
Hopefully.
anything, my bad. So anything you pulled out before this happens, they're going to be able to tax that?
Yeah, I mean, right, you're in the current law.
Yeah, it's gray area too, like where I mean, if you're taking it out, when you say taking it out, like you are taking it out on a KYC exchange, like that's all recorded,
Yeah.
It's up to you to say if you know, because these tax forms are like, so did you buy crypto? Like, how much of it did you buy? Like, how much do you have? And it's like, I forgot what article I was reading. They're like, we know. And they're like, they just want you to admit it. And it's so scary.
Well, that's above crypto even, right? Where like, yay, I made, $1 million this year. And then the government says, all right, you owe us some money. And you're like, okay, I made $1 million, so 200,000 sound good? And they're like, no, you're wrong. You're going to jail.
Oh, you guys
So it's
want
like
to hear something interesting really quick?
yeah,
Okay.
I like
So
anything.
the couple is actually not being accused of being the ones that actually scammed the system for the 19,000 Bitcoin. They're just being accused of holding and possible laundering.
Yeah, I
So
just heard that too.
Yeah,
so
so
they're being
they're
accused
getting
of
off.
somebody else.
Yeah, they think it's they already think it wasn't them. So they're gonna get off of this.
You know what I would say if I was them? Not like I want to help them, right? Because I think they should serve prison time. But I would have been like, well, you know who it was that set us up? It was John McAfee. Just because he's already gone.
Right. That's right.
You can go ask him.
Yeah, right. He would know. The NFT DAO, you have your hand raised. Were you going to add to that?
Yeah, Trader, good morning.
Hey.
And Christine, I've seen your posts around. I just wanted to add, it's a little fishy, like for them to claim that, and it's cool to hear that they're not being accused of the actual hack, but for a hacker to be sophisticated enough to hack Bitfinex, which has probably tier cybersecurity, and then to store the private keys of that in an unencrypted cloud, I don't know if that adds up for me. It sounds like a really convenient way for the U.S. to accumulate heavy without saying they bought anything.
Very
Exactly.
true. Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that. This is becoming the TMZ space of the.
No, that's exactly what we're all thinking. I mean, it's like, hey, look, if you're talking like this dude is probably in a basement dug under like some city sitting there with 20,000, 20 giant servers that really knows his shit, like a really good hacker. Like we're talking like this dude had to be pristine. I do not see these two being a pristine hacker. Like, not to judge in any way. Maybe they are, but I feel like they're not accusing them of hacking it because I don't even think they have that capability.
Dre says hacking Can't rap. Yeah, I heard it right there. He just said, if you're a rapper, you can't be a hacker at the same time.
That rhymes, and you didn't even try. You
I'm
know
the
what? We
hacker
need to
rapper.
look into her lyrics and see if she ended up saying anything about this.
No, she did. It says that she bragged, let's see, about being a dirty launderer of laundering. She bragged about it in some of her raps. It says inside the wildlife of rapper Heather Morgan, who bragged about being a dirty blank. I'll leave that blank before laundering 4.5 Bitcoin, and she was a dirty blank before she got rich. So she
Oh.
bragged about it.
Look at Ozark. I don't know if y'all watch Ozark.
Oh yeah.
He's a drug dealer, but he was laundering the money.
That's true. And we all know, whether we like to admit it or not, there's a lot of washing of money around here.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Don't sound too excited.
I'm about to say, people are listening.
can't-
Whenever
It can't sit in walls forever. Okay.
Yeah.
Exactly. And they're making an infrastructure for it, like tornado cash. Like for some, that's the equivalent of a money laundering business in real life. Like,
Oh, yeah.
but
They're the
I
new
wanted-
laundromats.
I wanted to add, this slowness in the U.S. to adopt, it's all smoke and mirrors. When you look at the numbers, like the U.S. owns over half the blockchain patents, and we have the big dogs in our corner like Microsoft and Meta that are U.S. companies, right? We're playing slow, but really I feel like we're just letting the world play test it and kind of demo it all, and then we're going to swoop in. We own a good amount of infrastructure in the space, even if we're pretending like we're dragging our butt regulation-wise.
man, I hope you're right.
The story is actually fabricated if you really start reading about it. It says 120,000 Bitcoin was stolen, but they've actually only seized 90,000 Bitcoin, which is 3.6 billion.
So this is just a cover story
So
for
there's still a whole billion missing.
so for the government to just have it in appearance in the accounts, like, yeah, remember we got it from that couple, that dirty couple, that was that rapper girl. That's where we got it from.
Yeah, but don't they have like auctions for these sort of things? Whenever you seize something, like if you seize a stolen car or something, they have an auction for it.
Not for
Can the
money.
government just say
Not
what
for
you
money.
think?
I
Not
heard
for
they
money.
put that shit back in
I'll
rotation.
I'll remind y'all, this is not money. This is property. We're in the United States here.
No,
Not
I'm a
property
couple.
like that.
Some people I knew that dealt with stuff like this were driving a good deal amount of money across the country, and goods, also goods like jewelry, diamonds, things like that, got pulled over by the cops in Texas. And we all know Texas is a whole nother realm. But they took all the cash, jewelry, everything that they had, and the people never seen it again. They don't even know what happened to it beyond that point.
Goes down the Silk Road.
Yeah. The trust me, when we say that they don't always give that stuff back, it's not going to get given back.
Man, I don't know. This is just a large amount, and on a public blockchain, people will be able to follow this a lot. And what the NFT DAO said, and I want to believe what he said, that we're playing it slow on purpose, and that ultimately, and I agree with it on some level, in that we've got so many dollars of like actual, like VC funds in Web3 in the space, that if all of a sudden you just blew it up, it really would like affect our economy severely. So maybe you're right. Maybe we're just allowing Russia and El Salvador and whoever else to beta test this whole thing. And then whenever finally the time's right, we're like, all right, now we see how to do it. We see what Russia did wrong. We see what El Salvador did wrong. Now we're going to do this iteration of it. My only counterpoint to that is that sometimes it doesn't feel like that is the government that you're describing right there is really savvy and really smart. And I don't necessarily always feel like we're really savvy and really smart about what we do with things. So that's my only
I
counter.
think publicly they aren't.
Yeah,
But
maybe
behind
we're
the
just
scenes,
plain
there's
dumb.
some shady shit.
Yeah. I think we're just dumb, and then
Yeah.
we don't want to be the first. Like, you would imagine, like, oh, why doesn't US like jump on that and be the first? Like, so it looks like very forward thinking and this and that. But they're playing it where
Yep.
it's like, oh no, I
We don't want
don't
to be
know
the
about that.
we don't want to be the first fuck ups. That's why.
No,
Yep.
and I think they don't want to be looked at. Like, they don't want to be looked at in depth and then be under a magnifying glass. They'd rather be in between. So they're like, oh, okay, just jumping on. Hopefully this works. But they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
to add to that point, a lot of people, that's a misconception that the U.S. really paints a picture of, when we look at, because in most people's minds, civilians' minds, we think they're slow, they're not efficient, right? But, and I'm sorry to bring this point up, but when we look at what happened in 9/11, right? The Patriot Act was the thousands of page long document. They enacted that in like 8 days, and it completely changed the face of travel on the whole earth, right? That's how quickly us as a reserve currency could change the monetary systems that we have our tentacles deep in,
The sad part is it took 9/11 to happen for that to happen. Right? It's I feel like we have a don't fix it until we absolutely have to mentality.
Right. It's
Whether
like
they paint that or not,
Yeah.
they control the situations happening
It's
or
just
not.
like the weed situation in California or in a lot of the world is the government was making a ton of weed off of medicinal weed or a ton of money off of medicinal weed for a very, very, very long time and keeping normal weed very illegal for a very long time, but making tons of money off of it medicinal wise. And then people started acting out and going fighting back, and then states started legalizing it, so they had no choice but to allow it. And then what do? They tax businesses 60%.
Right. And then they make money off of the, people in jail or prison for it as
Yeah,
well.
this is the sad part.
Yeah.
And this is funny. The persecutor for their case said that the couple used the funds to buy gold, NFTs, and absolutely mundane things such as purchasing Walmart gift cards for $500. So does this sound like somebody that's going to go to jail for 25 years? No. That's what the prosecutors trying to get them on.
Hey,
So
so
the
apparently Bitfinex has issued out a statement that they are actually working with the Department of Justice on getting the at least 80% returned back to them.
Good.
Ooh, yay.
wow.
At least 80%. That's still, let's see, 20% of $4.5 billion.
Right.
Come on.
I'd
This
be
is
willing to
interesting.
bet money that part of that deal to give their money back will be to work nice with regulators with USD Tether. I'm betting money that this is a lead up to them being integrated as like a real, Fed coin.
I think so too. They're gonna be like, guys, this scam happened. We need to regulate this. It's a matter of national security.
I sure as hell.
What I
hate
think, what I think is gonna happen is they're gonna get out of jail and just start working for the government.
Not even that. They're gonna get
They're
out
not
of
even gonna
jail
get
and live
arrested.
their life
Yeah,
like nothing happened.
they're not the smart ones.
Yeah, they don't want them. They were the couple that said, "Hey, hold this for me real quick, all right? I'll be right back." And then the cops arrest them.
Man, as we're like connecting the dots here, that what you last just said about finally getting a national currency, that man, that could really be. I mean, if I were to set it up and tried to have a master plan, I'm like the meme where the guy's like, turning around and he's got all the spider web of theories behind him. But yeah, if I were to set it up like that, that's how I would set it up. I think that's a really good guess of what's going on.
If you
I
look at,
appreciate that.
yeah,
And for years and years, the U.S. said we're not touching stable coins, we're not touching U.S. dollar coins, right? But the Tether and the USD coin, they were some of the first stables that existed. There was no. It started with us, right? And entities we play with, even if we don't on paper play with them. But we've kind of tried to regulate taxation into Bitfinex, even if they're outside of jurisdiction, right? The U.S. Tether, that's the first dollar coin, and I feel like just because it's on paper, not connected to the Fed, they're definitely the same banks that work with the Fed are deep, deep in the stablecoin markets. So it's a perfect cover.
yep, yeah,
Not a big
100%.
fan. Just not a big fan of Tether. I would rather it be like the DAI or something like that, a little more
Something,
decentralized. But
yeah.
100%. Thank you for saying that.
hey,
And if we don't
I have a
believe that
big soapbox on USDT that I'll have to go on someday.
oh god, yes, Keaton was going on that one last night before we got rugged.
no, maybe we will cover. That would be a good topic for us one of these days. It's just stable coins in general. That would be a fun topic. But yeah, if you want to, I'm always big on decentralization of anything, really. But certainly whenever you're talking stable coins, there's just a lot of room for shadiness whenever it's centralized. So I'm always kind of on the lookout for that. So yeah, this has all been really good discussion. I love talking about. We're not through talking about with these this rapper and her husband here. I have a feeling we'll talk about them as the story kind of unfolds a little bit because they're just kind of fun to talk about. And it does kind of tie in a little bit as we talk about this Russia story and them accepting crypto as a currency. It does kind of all tie in as we look in for what gears are turning here. I don't want this to turn into like a conspiracy show. But at the same time, I think we're just looking at whatever the truth is, so we can kind of figure that out there. Because we as investors, we need to know this. We need to know all of what's going on with this, whether it be our crypto or our stocks. This is all intertwined together. If you're new in here and you're like, well, what even is this space? What are they talking about? I enjoy listening to them, but what is Traderverse? Traderverse will be a soon-to-be released AV streaming platform, but it'll be so much more than that. It'll be able to have a trading companion for you to be able to look at maybe if there's some momentum stock or crypto ticker symbol, and there's some momentum on social media that it's being discussed quite a bit. You'll be able to see that sort of thing and maybe to help with your trading decisions based on that. It'll also be gamified to where if you were making calls that you can be rewarded for that. Maybe you want to have a Discord type of thing and something called colonies that will be available. It will be a centralized hub with so many different products all in one. And that'll be TRADERVERSE, and the first iteration of it will come out in March. So it'll be coming soon. So make sure you follow the account that I'm speaking from, which is TRADERVERSE as well. So yeah, guys, in the end for all of this, we think they're not going to have any jail time. We think that it's somebody else that's doing it. So will the government pursue this somebody else, or will they not because it's actually them?
Yeah, it says that they're actually at home on house arrest, so they're just chilling.
I think they need to get on a space here. I mean, they don't. I mean, come on, Christine, make it happen. You know you would on the Web3 help desk to have her come on. You think it was big the other day whenever what's his face from ENF, the guy that was let go of his position for ENF.
Brantley.
Yeah,
Oh,
Brantley. Yeah, you think that was big? Bring her on. I think you'll have.
I think her lawyers would have something to say about that one.
Well, it's okay because here's what I want her to just show up as her rap persona. Okay,
exactly. So just drop some bars for us.
Just drop some bars. It's a music. Okay, so I'll do it. The Voice of DeFi, my Twitter, my personal Twitter handle at Voice of DeFi. I'll start a space and it'll be NFT music space or Web3 for the people or something like that. And and she comes in and you guys know I can play some music around here. Yeah, I can play music around here.
I'll drop bars on that.
Yeah. If you could drop bars on this, actually, you know what? Some talented people probably could. But yeah, if you could drop bars on that, you go. But yeah, I just want her. I want Heather. Is that her name? Yeah, Heather Morgan to come on here, drop some bars on a beat of her choice, and we don't even have to talk. We don't even have to talk. Shady dealings. We're just talking music, brah. So yeah, well, that's what I want to happen. And Christine, I'm telling you, your account would blow up if you could get that. If blow up already. I mean, she's already blown up, but
no, right. No, I have a good question. Give us one of your success stories in the crypto NFT world.
Probably that time whenever I took 3.5 billion from Bitfinex. But anyway, here's my latest single. Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. But yeah, we're not through covering her because this is going to be a fun story to be able to cover. And yeah, we're also not through covering probably this Russia thing, not necessarily Russia itself, but other countries. I would love to see some other major powers. You guys feel like there would be peer pressure if France and some other European countries started accepting crypto as a currency as well, that there would be peer pressure for the US to jump in?
I think the peer pressure is right now with Russia.
Yeah.
We're always competing with Russia
and China. China made their own coin, right? So there's definitely movement to that world, and a lot of countries are endorsing crypto, right?
Yeah, it's our move now. This chess move is our turn.
Well, it depends he's not up here anymore, but NFT, I forget what he was, NFT DAO, it said earlier, it depends how slow we're playing it, right? We're playing it super slow. I mean, maybe we're not even doing it till the next halving. Maybe we've got a few years away. I don't know. It just depends how slow.
It's now. Because we always make moves when Russia does. It's like a pissing contest that lasts forever. So it's like now Russia's made a move. So everyone already expects the US to. So the US will be like, okay, now they'll expect us to. So it doesn't look weird. Let's do it.
As you just said that, it reminded me, in the 60s, they called it the space race.
Yes.
Who can get to space first and who can get that technology the best. And, we made it on the moon. And so now maybe it's the exact same thing, but the Web3 race.
Exactly. I think history shows that when Russia does something or wants to do something, we quickly, take action. So I think this is what they're looking for. They didn't necessarily want to be, because they don't want to be under a magnifying glass. They play that, I don't know, I'm not sure card very well. But when Russia comes to play, all of a sudden we're number one again, and we show everyone how to do it.
Okay. I hope you guys are right. I want to believe you guys. I've got my foam number one finger on for the US with this, that they can somehow figure this out. Yeah, maybe at the Olympics, right? So we're right there at the Olympics, and maybe we could somehow announce it right there. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, it's been good to be able to speak with you today on WAGMI Wednesday. We will be here tomorrow at 17:30 UTC. That's just 23 short hours until then tomorrow, right here on Twitter Spaces. So make sure you join us then, where we will talk a little bit more Traderverse. So if you're wondering exactly what this platform is, what it is about, we will answer that on Thursday. And then we have a Fire AMA with a crypto project this Friday. So make sure you set your reminders for that and follow the Traderverse account. Until then, I'm the Voice of DeFi. You can find me on Twitter at Voice of DeFi. I'm up here with the lovely Christine Barnum. Thank you to Andre, Crypt Keeper, Scrupula, Crypto Keaton, and also NFT DAO. That was a great addition that you added to today's conversation. So until next time, I'm going to play this music. And if any of you want to spit any bars to it, go for it. Till then, I love you.
Trader of the Wall Street.
Yeah. Stole all the money.